It's time music, folks. Don't get you excited. I don't know what it does. We've got Kevin Clark, Ben Solak, Mike Tannenbaum here. Kevin Clark, what's got you fired up on a Friday? Mike Tannenbaum, everyone's excited about Sonny Styles. What do you see in your evaluation? And could he be a top 5 pick?
Absolutely, and I think he's going to be a great player. I want to go as far as what Kevin said. Look, he's a former safety who at 6'5" ran an improbable 4.46. He can run down the seam in that cover 2 defense. He can blitz. He has 9 sacks, 9 pass breakups. Very rarely do you see a player with this sort of production in college, a really rare player. Not sure if he's going to be the best in this draft, but certainly a difference maker.
Ben Solak, you devoured the film. You know all the numbers. What has you fired up on a Friday?
I like tight ends who run faster than 4.4. Here's a comprehensive list. Kenyon Sadiq out of Oregon, and that's about it. Nobody else has done it. 4.39 and 240 pounds. I used to do that back in the day, not anymore. Listen, explosive receptions from the tight end position is actually very rare to see. Most tight ends are check down guys. They don't really break tackles. Sadiq can be a unicorn of a receiver. Think George Kittle style, streaking down the field, knocking safeties off him, running away from linebackers. This is a change your passing game caliber of a prospect here. I don't know where he goes in the first round, but the team who gets him is going to be fired up.
Kevin, what are you thinking about Sadiq?
I love him. I'm with Ben. I love athleticism. Always bet on the freak athletes. I'm going to throw out Eli Stowers as well from Vanderbilt. Former quarterback, 4.5. 40, so we'll go a little later.
Not a 4.3.
I love both of these guys. A lot of good tight end value in this draft.
It's such an interesting draft. Mike Tannenbaum, what are you fired up to see in the draft less than 2 weeks away?
Peter, for the first time since 2015, does a team trade up in the first round for a running back? That was Melvin Gordon of the Chargers in 2015. Jeremiah Love may be the best player in this draft. He is explosive with the ball in his hands. He's an impeccable pass blocker. He catches the ball 63 receptions. And if I'm the New York Giants and I'm trying to set the tone with John Harbaugh, do I actually think about trading up above the Tennessee Titans at 4? Maybe flipping Peter with Arizona at 3 to get a tone-setting, culture-setting player in Jeremiah Love.
All right, Ben, just for your context, this show has been the Jeremiah Love welcome wagon. Bring us down to earth. Give us a little bit of a front office perspective, Ben Solak, on why maybe running back doesn't make sense in the early rounds.
Because when you take a running back 3 overall or 4 or 5, you become the 7th highest paid running back in football, right? And you lose some of the value that you get versus getting an edge there, who's the 26th highest paid guy or an offensive tackle. So from like a long-term team building perspective, it's not the smartest. But man, you watch one Jeremiah Love run, and you're like, ooh, maybe we do take the guy here at 3.
What else does he do besides run the ball?
I mean, he can catch. He's a culture guy. I've interviewed him a few times. He's unbelievable. He was in the studio this time last year. He just exudes team leader. To me, if he drops, it's the best thing that could happen to him. He goes to a Rams. Mike's talking about trading up. Do the Rams trade up? Do the Vikings trade up? One of those teams that loves running backs and will utilize him. That, to me, we saw Ashton Genty, a great running back on a bad team last year. Yeah. Let's see Jeremiah Love on a good team. That, to me, is the key to his success.
Fascinated by what Tannenbaum said. Could a team trade up to get Jeremiah?
Ice Simpson, I think will find his way into the first round there because of the 5th-year option, right? So I have the Cardinals trading up ever so slightly to move into that first round, get that 5th-year option because he's a great point guard. Think your Brock Purdy type. Think your Bo Nix type. He's accurate. He's got a live arm. He can move it around a little bit in the pocket, manage space. Works very nicely for Arizona for Mike LaFleur's offense.
All right, and your third quarterback is the Nuss Bus, Garrett Nussmeier. Where do you have him going?
Choo-choo, baby. Buses don't choo-choo. But I have him going to the Steelers there at the end of the 3rd round. The Steelers, I think, are very live to take a quarterback in one of the first 3 rounds. Even if Rodgers returns, we're talking about a 43-year-old quarterback, a guy who's not the future. Nussmeier's got a live arm. He's a very creative thrower, and he's got good pocket management. Now, he's too aggressive. He really likes to push the ball down the field. We have to dial that back in the NFL, but there's a starter in here for sure with a year of development.
Less than 2 weeks to go from the NFL draft. Today's Schrager 5. I'm looking at the most polarizing prospects in the NFL draft. My phone is open, talking to everyone. When you're doing mock drafts, you have all sorts of disparities. Here are the 5 names that people are split on. Number 5, go to Tennessee, cornerback Jermad McCoy. When he was on the field in 2024, was likely the best defensive back in football. But he missed all of 2025 with an injury. What do you do with that? He's tall, he's rangy, he could be the best corner in this draft. And yet he didn't play last year. Questions remain whether his health It's good enough to go as the first corner off the board. Number 4, what do you do with a 360-pound left tackle who had some real ups and downs? That's Caden Proctor out of Alabama. Proctor, whose video I believe will show you he is a mass of humanity right there. That is a giant man, and yet he was beat many times, and there are questions whether or not this guy is worthy of a top 15 pick or an end of the first round pick. Folks, he could go as high as number 6 to Cleveland. That is how much upside there is. We don't know whether he's going to go there or later. Number 3, Ruben Bain Jr. You saw him all season for Miami absolutely dominate. The stats are there, the production's there. He had the 3rd shortest arms out of any defensive lineman at the combine, and that is a real thing. His arms are not long, and traditionally you want those big arms for a defensive lineman to fight off those tackles. Ruben Bain, polarizing where he goes in the first round. Number 2, Spencer Fano. Let me be clear on this. Health is perfect. Off the field is perfect. He wears a C on his chest. Unbelievable. And yet, what do you do with a guy who wasn't a pure left tackle in the college game? Can you take a right tackle? Can you take a guy who maybe plays guard in the top 10? Everybody loves Spencer Fano, but is he worthy of a top 10 pick? And number 1, the most polarizing prospect in this entire draft is that guy, Jordan Tyson. Unbelievable talent, pops off the screen, great in the biggest moments, everything you can ask for, except he missed a lot of time in college football. This year it was the hamstring, but he has a torn ACL in the past, an MCL, a PCL, a broken collarbone. There is injury history all up and down the board. I have him going 9 to the Chiefs in my latest mock draft, but gosh, look at this guy. Did someone go to Augusta and spend a lot of money in the pro shop? How we doing, Mike? Mike Tannenbaum, what do you do with someone like Jordan Tyson? And yes, we get it. You were at the Masters. Talk to us about Tyson. What a prospect and the questions you have with the health.
Okay, that was for Whitney, by the way. I don't have real concerns about Jordan Tyson. The way Ben talked about it early in the show, here's why. Typically, when you have soft tissue injuries, guys, in college, and you only play 1 full season out of 4, that's a big, big concern because typically in a 17-game season, history shows us you don't become more durable. And even though he has unbelievable ability, I love how he gets in and out of cuts, how he high points the ball. I would be really worried if we took a player in the top 10 because I just don't see him playing 17 games year in and year out.
Yeah, again, to reiterate, I've got him going 9. That's top 10. I have heard some say that the Giants have interest at 5. So we will see. He's also been put to the Eagles at 23 in other mock drafts. So that is why he is polarizing. All right, forget polarizing. Let's talk about love and not Jeremiah. One player that you love in this draft process doing all the work, Ben Solak, is who?
Arizona safety Traden Stukes. Now, this is a fringe first round, maybe early second round guy, but when we talk about modern safeties, we talk about guys who can play corner, play nickel, play deep. And Stukes did all of those positions over 6 years there at Arizona. 6'1", 190, runs a true 4.33, plays the ball wonderfully in the air. His angles, there's so, especially for a guy who spent very little time at safety, it's extremely impressive to watch. But we're going to see more and more combo players. Think Justin Reed, Kobe Bryant develop in the NFL. Traden Stukes is one of them.
All right, Kevin Clark, give us a player that you love.
Wide receiver Chris Bell from
Louisville. Oh, that felt like Tom Jackson.
That's
Chris
right,
Berman.
TJ.
Let's go.
Chris Bell, he got on my radar during ACC play. I'm an ACC network power watcher. He was slanting teams to death, just over the middle, slant, 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 getting open, creating separation. 6'2", 220, big body. Reliable blocker. I love everything about him. He missed some time. He's going to be a mid-round steal, but I think he's awesome at day 1 start.
That's one of those we clip off in like week 7 when he's making plays. Mike Tannenbaum, who you got? Who you love?
Jacob Rodriguez, and this fits perfectly to Kevin Clark, who loves the ACC. He started off where, Kevin? University of Virginia. But he has had improbable production at Texas Tech, guys. Yeah. 6 sacks, 6 interceptions, 12 PBUs, but improbably 13 forced fumbles. I've never seen that in 30 years of watching football. He can punch the ball out instinctively. I think that's going to translate. He's going to be a very good pro player. I see some Zach Thomas in his game.
He was in the Texas Tech. He was in the Heisman conversation at one point this season. My player, everyone loves Mendoza. You watch the tape, it's hard not to love Omar Cooper Jr.
Yes, sir.
He's not the tallest guy. He's not the fastest guy. He does everything for this Indiana team. And all right.
How about these comps?
I love this.
A lot of wide receivers there.
Do you know that Food Lion has MVP hot sales on over 1,000 items every week? Right? On top of already low prices. Just look at it. Fresh veggies, fruits, meat. Hey, you do your kind of hot sales, I'll do mine.
How much stock are you putting in this win for New York last night?
Far as what, Courtney? Far as them matching up with the Celtics in the playoffs and beating them? I ain't putting that much stock in them at all. Listen, was this win important for the New York Knicks? Absolutely. Did this mean anything for the Boston Celtics? Did they leave out of Madison Square Garden lacking confidence?